but we have Ravina from the Human Rights Office who's going to address the situation in Tigray in Ethiopia. So over to you.
Thanks, Rolando. Good morning, everyone. You should have received the press release from our office on the situation in Tigray in Ethiopia. The UN High Commissioner for Human Rights, Volker Turk, calls on all parties to take urgent steps towards de-escalation amid the precarious situation in the Tigray region. Recent fighting between the Ethiopian army and regional forces has highlighted the risk of a deepening human rights crisis in the north of the country. The situation remains highly volatile, and we fear that it will deteriorate, worsening the region's already precarious human rights and humanitarian situation. There must be concerted and sustained efforts by all parties, with the help of the international community, to de-escalate tensions before it's too late. Political dialogue and confidence-building measures are urgently needed, not renewed resort to armed conflict. Clashes between the Ethiopian National Defense Forces and the regional Tigray security forces intensified on the 26th of January, particularly in the areas of Selemti and Leilai Selemti in the region's northwest, close to the Amhara border. The TSF withdrew from the Selemti area on the 1st of February. Drones, artillery, and other powerful weapons were used by both sides. Several arrests and detentions by both the ENDF and the TSF have been reported during the clashes and subsequently. Civilians are once again caught in between escalating tensions, with both the TSF and the ENDF reportedly carrying out arrests for perceived affiliation with the opposing side. This must stop. In the south and southeast of the Tigray region, near the Afar border, clashes between the TSF and the Tigray Peace Forces, a rival faction, continue unabated. Over 1 million civilians remain internally displaced from the 2020 to 2022 Tigray conflict that left many people dead and uprooted more than 2 million. The exact death toll remains unclear, with widely differing estimates from different sources. Over 1 million civilians remain in. Both sides must step back from the brink and work to resolve their differences through political means. Alleged serious violations or abuses must be promptly and independently investigated, irrespective of the perpetrators. The High Commissioner has also expressed concern at recent tensions between Ethiopia and neighboring Eritrea, warning that they risk exacerbating the already serious human rights and humanitarian challenges in both countries and across the wider Horn of Africa.
Thank you very much, and I see that the notes have indeed been shared, so thanks for that. Questions for Ravina on Ethiopia? Yes, Robin.
Thank you. Those alleged serious violations and abuses, could you shed a bit more light on what those might be? And secondly, could you say a bit more about the use of drones in this conflict and their impact and their effect and what they're being used for? Thank you.
Thanks, Robin. In terms of violations, we have seen clashes between the parties, leading to violence against civilians. We have seen displacement. We've also seen arrests targeting by both sides, targeting people for their perceived affiliation with one side or another. And from past experience, we know that these arrests often lead to ill treatment in detention facilities where the conditions are very difficult. What we are concerned about is that while the recent clashes did largely come to an end, the situation is so tense and so volatile that at any point further clashes could erupt. And this could have really dire consequences for the civilians. As I said, over 1 million civilians remain internally displaced. So these could have really dire consequences for that. And so we're calling on all parties to recommit to the Pretoria Agreement, the cessation of hostilities agreement that was signed, I believe, in 2022. And to take confidence-building measures, for example, facilitating the return of IDPs to their homes. This is something that was part of the agreement, but it hasn't proceeded as smoothly as it should. Sorry, apologies for that. On the drones, yes, we are seeing the use of drones and heavy artillery during these confrontations. We have a lot of reports. It is very difficult to verify them, so I can't get into detail on the exact impact of these attacks. But they're clearly taking place, and we are trying to get information as we can, given the security situation and access restrictions as well.
Good, thank you. Did I see a hand up over here? Yes, Emma, Reuters.
It's sort of related. Reuters had a investigation out this morning on how Ethiopia is building a secret training camp to train Sudan's RSF fighters. You probably haven't seen it yet, but I was just wondering if you could say something general about your concerns of other neighboring countries getting involved in this war and what that could mean. Thank you.
No, you're right, Emma. I haven't seen that report, but we'll certainly look into it. In general, on the conflict in Sudan, as you know, we've been very concerned about the involvement of many different countries, whether they're directly involved, whether there are mercenaries on the ground from different countries, whether they're providing arms, intelligence, funding, or other support, whether they're involved in the political economy of the conflict in Sudan. We have been very concerned about the participation of regional and international actors, and the High Commissioner has repeatedly called on all states with influence to exercise that influence to bring the conflict in Sudan to an end. On Ethiopia, there have, of course, been reports regarding the presence of Eritrean troops and heightened tensions between those two countries. So we are calling on the Ethiopian and the Eritrean authorities to use diplomatic channels to resolve the disputes and to not further escalate the situation. And the violence is never the solution. But on specifically the Ethiopians, the training camp, I don't have information, but we can look into your report and get back to you on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much, Ravina.